So once the original cartridges are recognized in the printer, you want to go into the replacement mode. So you only need to initialize the original cartridges if it's a brand new printer. If you already had a printer that used the originals, you don't need to use the demo cartridges. So we're going to go to ink cartridge replacement, and next we're going to go ahead and install the CIS system. Okay, so now that we have our CIS primed and ready, I'm going to go ahead and set it right beside the printer. Make sure you do not raise them higher than the printer, because that will definitely cause the inks to leak inside the print head, and that's something we all don't want. So make sure that that's not the case. Setting them higher will cause them to leak. I'm going to go ahead and press the start button to replace the cartridges. Okay, so it's ready for me to remove the cartridges. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all the originals, put them aside. Give me 1 second here. So now that we're going to go ahead and install the CIS system, we have to make sure that the item is installed and primed. So we're going to go ahead and put the cartridges in the printer. You can hear them click. And I'm going to go ahead and also, kind of focus there, we're going to go ahead and plug the wire right into the cartridges. They only go in one direction, so you make sure that the wire is entering the correct way. So now that it's installed, we're going to go ahead and also place the tubes where they're not going to get caught. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and take your T-shaped clip here, and it has an adhesive backing, so you're going to go ahead and place this over once. Be very careful when you place it, because once you put it down there, it's kind of hard to put back. So I'm going to put it right in the middle, somewhere in the back here, where it just kind of glides over the middle of the print head. You kind of see it right there. So what I'll go ahead and do is make a nice little loop right under here. You can see there. And you're going to go ahead and adjust the lines. You have to be careful that if you don't get it right the first time, you might run the risk of getting a printer jam in the printer, because this will get caught inside the print head. So you kind of have to just play around with it. The best way is to kind of shut the printer off when it's halfway moving back and forth. So when the printer head is unhinged, you kind of just would move the print head to whatever you'd like to do to it until you get it right. So that's one way of going ahead and putting the T-shaped clip there. You're going to go ahead and take your T-shaped clip right here, the same adhesive backing, and you're going to go ahead and take this part and just rip it off as well. Now, where you place these clips is really up to you. I just place them, the most convenient and easiest way that I found possible without any issues. But you could have a better setup than I can. But usually I would put it in the corner here, or somewhere right above here. I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the corner, just so that when it's taped down, you're not going to have a lot of this tube getting in the way. So I'm going to go ahead and clip it here, and we're going to go ahead and initialize the cartridges. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and press start to initialize the cartridges. You have to be very careful that you have to leave the printer lid open, because if you leave it closed, you run the risk of also clamping these tubes down, and the extra length might get caught inside the printer. So you might also notice a loud screech. That can also mean that the printer is getting the tubes caught in there, or you might get a printer jam. So we're going to go ahead and start the setup and see how we did. Depending on how this turns out, I might have to pull more slack or at least less slack into the printer. But let's see how it's going to go ahead. So you want it to make a full rotation to the left, full rotation to the right without it clogging. So we're going to go ahead and wait here, see if it initializes. It's charging the ink, so it's going to take a few minutes to recognize. Okay, so once you're able to access the printer menu, you know that you are done with the system and the setup is complete. As long as you didn't get any recognizing issues or some kind of error message, you should be fine. Once you're able to access the printer menu, you should be good. One thing to do notice, if you didn't remember, I did plug the wire. There's a wire that goes inside the chip. I actually plugged it right into that cartridge. So if you have any recognizing issues, feel free to see our other videos on how to get them to recognize. You can see it in the link in the description or the link above. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and do some test prints. So we're just going to print a nozzle check for this sake here. For this particular XP-440, we're only able to load the paper on top of the printer. There's no way to load it into, you know, a tray. This is just how the printer is manufactured. Go ahead and place that here. Make sure everything is good. Sorry, give me one moment here. As long as we have like a piece of paper, we can do a test print. So we're gonna go ahead and confirm print. I'm just gonna go ahead and, you know, print something for us. It's looking good. You see a nozzle check here? You kind of see it already, and you can see there that we got a good nozzle check. Okay, so the paper printed out, I wanted to show you the nozzle check. You can see everything's good. Everything's looking clear. So that's how you install one of these CIS systems for this particular printer. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know in the comments below. Thank you.